Date of birth.
Okay, we have Jodi Smith.
It's really Jodi May.
Jodi May?
Yes, I use Jodi Smith on the computer.
Jodi May, aka Jodi Smith.
Right.
Jodi just went through the application for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the easiest to use, 5 being the hardest to use, how would you rate the system overall?
I'd say 2.
Okay, great.
It was
Why do you think it's a 2?
relatively easy. I like the buttons and the automation.
Okay.
That was all helpful. It could be easier in order to be a 1. I think there were a couple of confusing steps that need to be cleared up. There were a couple of places where I wasn't exactly sure what the system wanted me to do.
Okay.
So that would make it a 1, but overall it was relatively easy to figure out.
Great. Since you said easy to use, what is the easiest or best feature of the system?
I like the fingerprint collection device.
Okay.
Anyone who's ever been fingerprinted before knows that the devices can be very sensitive to fingerprint, so it lets you know when it's got a good fingerprint. You don't have to figure that out on your own. I found that very easy and straightforward. I like that part.
Okay. Then what is the worst feature that you discovered during this process? Or steps or features or,
When you're going through enrolling someone, the fact that it doesn't automatically prompt you to enter all the personal information, the identifying information, that seems like, to be honest, it seems like an oversight. It walks you through all the other pieces and then it forgets to ask you for that.
Right.
And then within that particular feature, the height to me was just beyond confusing. It was the only point where I really got stuck and had to say, I have no idea what this computer wants me to do. So
there were labeling issues,
Right.
And then there were some wrong processes. In that particular place where you were struggling, which was you received an error message where, in fact, you did not commit an error. That's been 100% stop for everybody.
Okay.
It's not you, obviously, because you went through the right process.
Mm-hmm.
What strikes me about the system is that how could you commit an error when you did not,
Right.
gone through the process? If it's a wizard and you did not go through the step, how could you commit an error?
Right.
And that's where the logic is broken.
Right.
But easily fixed
Definitely.
too as well. Then overall, what would you do to change the application if you had, your brother?
I'd probably just add a couple more dialog boxes. There's places where the computer seems to be stalling, and maybe it is or maybe it isn't, and you don't really know what's going on. For instance, when you log in, it doesn't say, congratulations, you've connected. It doesn't say, please wait, we're connecting you. Fields that are mandatory, there should be some clear marking that they're mandatory. I think it would be relatively small fixes, but just a couple of things to let the user know exactly what's going on or what's expected from them.
Okay. So you're looking for system status. Please wait. I'm writing to the database. Please wait while I'm connecting. Those kind of things, right?
Yes.
And during the enrollment process, which is a lengthy process, some of it is automated. Some of them you have to manually do it. At any time, did you know where you are in the process?
No, I had no idea where I was in the process. I didn't know what step 1 was, what step 2 was, how many steps there were. I thought I was done and then realized I had to go back to step 1 because I hadn't done that at all. So I thought that was a little confusing.
What is the word finish mean to you?
In the real world, finish means you're done.
How many finish did you see in the
Too many.
Okay.
I thought I was done a lot.
Did that
Yes.
confuse you?
Yes, it did.
In Finland, there's a lot of finish.
Yes, there are.
Yes. So there.
Many.
Sorry. Okay, the next question is, what feature would enhance your user experience? I know this sounds a little bit similar to the one before, like the system status and mandatory fields and things like that, but overall user experience, what else can we do to enhance it for you? from the layout of the GUI to the system status to some sort of software heuristic kind of things that more prompts?
I think it's okay. I mean, other than what we've already talked about, I don't know that I would change that much for it to be a tool that's used out in the field. I think it's fine. I mean, I can't really think of anything that someone in the middle of the desert would need to make this a more usable tool. So.
Okay. Do you think that you could, if you're in the front line and, or if a person is in the front line and they fell off the stool
Mm-hmm.
And can't do this, do you think you can just step in without any training and work on it and process a person through?
I think you could figure it out. I think there's one place where you would get hung up and would not be able to figure out what to do, and that's just the height piece. I think everything else you could fudge your way through it and get someone successfully into the system.
Everything except for the height.
Mm-hmm.
The unit of measurement was not on there.
Right.
And would you think that would be an easy fix?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you very much, Jodi
Thank
Smith, aka
May. Jodi May.
Appreciate that. See, I wouldn't do that.
No.